adult language and discussions. If you're easily offended, do not continue.
We would be honored if you would join us.
How are you feeling? Your latest workups on your condition indicate that all damage has been reversed. Recovery is total. I believe you have been quite fortunate. No further thanks are necessary, Commander, but you are most welcome. It is my function and pleasure as a medical droid to help and heal human beings.
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
Hello, everybody. We're back for another Star Wars from the Bacta Tank update show. Yes, we are just chopping away at these updates. And I was very anxious to get back. I was on vacation last week, very anxious to get back in the studio because I like how the very week I decide to go on vacation, we're just slammed.
Yeah, you noticed
with
that?
updates. I'm like, great.
I was cracking up when you were gone on vacation and all of a sudden, like three big headlines on Star Wars just dropped on everybody.
Yeah. Lots of news. I mean, I didn't even know where to start today, David, with the show notes. I had no idea. Like, I'm going through the show notes. I'm juggling so many things because literally just in the last 2 days, so many things came out. So I actually had to drop things off the show notes.
And now, and on top of that, hey, we had a George Lucas sighting.
Yeah.
Another
one. So
they saw me.
Yeah, we are going to jump into the some George Lucas news as well as Star Wars, of course. But we do, in studio today, we have Greg today.
I'm back.
He's back. And then, of course, we have Dustin Lucas.
Hello there.
Now, what we're going to start with is we're going to start with some George Lucas news. George Lucas confirms he was working on a Star Wars sequels before selling Lucasfilm to Disney, which I don't think that was more of a rumor before. So I think we all heard that, but it wasn't confirmed. Now it was actually a confirmed story. Which I find it interesting. I found from a few different sources, they reported everything. It was slightly different news from a couple different sources.
Yeah.
But a great sigh of relief went out among fans when they learned George Lucas wouldn't be involved with the Star Wars sequels. I wouldn't say there was a sigh of relief. I wouldn't say that.
Really?
No, I like George Lucas. I think he does a good job.
Do you guys have a place where I can put my green screen?
So stupid.
Or a refrigerator.
Instead,
well, see, basically, guys, I really thought I didn't get a chance to make the Star Wars the way I wanted it, so I wanted to bring my full vision for Star Wars to you guys and kind of make everything, flow together with the new actors and everything like that. Make a cohesive universe, cohesive where everything runs together and flows very nicely. Oh, that's right. Fans apparently don't like that anymore. So I'm just going to throw continuity out the window, and here you go, guys. That's what fans wanted to hear.
Thank you, George.
Yeah. So instead, he's moved on to an original property by writing the story for an upcoming animated family film, Strange Magic. However, since he's doing press for that film, he's still going to get asked about Star Wars, and thankfully, he's been willing to comment on the upcoming sequels. Over a year ago, we reported that Lucas had been working on Star Wars Episode 7 before Disney acquired Lucasfilm, and he confirmed this report in a recent interview. Speaking to USA Today, Lucas reiterated what his son Jet said back in September, telling the publication that he had started planning the next 3 Star Wars movies, but realized that it would be another 10-year commitment. However, he didn't plan to direct all 3 and was planning to sell the company. Lucas says his original plan... Damn pop-ups. Lucas says his original plan was to complete Episode 7 and release it in May of 2015... and then sell Lucasfilm. However, Disney came along at the right time, and Lucas felt that it was better to completely divorce himself from the sequel trilogy. It's better for me to get out the beginning of a new thing, and I can just remove myself, said the filmmaker. So, you know what? I wouldn't have mind him being involved. If there was a plan of act, I do think he needs to hand off to another. I said that with the prequels. I don't think he's... I love George Lucas, and he's an icon, and he's an inspiration to many filmmakers across the entire world.
I agree with that.
And as we've said at great length, he's a good producer, a brilliant story man, a very good writer. I mean, you look at the...
Would you say that, though, dude? Writer?
Yes,
Writer.
Dude. Look at the depth of the prequels. Say what you want about some of the cheesy elements, but the depth, to me, the prequels has more depth. I know I'm going to get slammed for this, slant for this than the original trilogy. The entire politics, the political subtext within the new prequels are amazing.
I'll agree with that, but however, I just feel that his writing is just outdated. Like literally,
yes, I agree with let's debate screenplays and actual writing. I think his actual writing of like the shooting script. No, if he wrote a draft and then they brought on a writer to write the final screenplay for the film that's the actual shooting script, I think that would have been good.
That would have been good.
Yeah,
yeah, but I mean, like as a writing like a straight shooting script. It's just that I just always felt he was outdated.
Yeah.
Like everything that he wrote, including like if you look at Indiana Jones.
Right.
That just felt so outdated.
Yeah.
And when you look at who was the main writer on it, George Lucas hasn't written anything great. I will agree with you on one point.
What about Red Tails? Red Tails is amazing.
I will agree with your one point that he is a brilliant story man because he came up with some story subplots for Clone Wars, and he did give some ideas for Rebels.
Yeah, dude, he should be. If he didn't leave and he kind of stayed on board, he could have been an awesome fountain, base of information, like ideas. Like, hey, George, we have an idea, and he just spits them out because the world he created is fantastic, and I can never fault him with that. And I don't want to jump on the bandwagon of bashing George Lucas. I make a lot of jokes. I really do because they're funny. But I don't. George Lucas gave us one of the greatest franchises of all time. Even the prequels. I just got done watching Phantom Menace last night again. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad. Jar Jar Binks doesn't get obnoxious until the ending when he starts fighting everybody and he starts beating people and taking out an entire garrison of battle droids by accident.
Yeah,
that's the only part that I'm like,
so sorry. Me bump into you. Me just want to go to store. Me so sorry.
And that's what I mean. I mean, like George Lucas, those points are part of his writing style, and that just seems so outdated.
Yeah,
because back then it would have worked perfectly. Like back in probably in the 80s and the 90s, cheesy stuff like that would have worked. But nowadays, no.
Yeah. But I don't think anybody really told him like really kind of.
He needs.
Like I don't think anybody really told him like, hey George, this stuff might not fly.
Right.
I think everybody just kind of. They were too afraid. Like, oh, this is George Lucas. Like,
it's suck your dick syndrome. When you surround, and I agree with Greg 100%. When you become the king of your world, and you're the king of your world for 3+ decades, no one's gonna say, yeah, George, that's pretty shitty. And I think you need to have that dick syndrome, that dick I'm gonna blow you syndrome out of the way. He surrounded himself by peons and people who look up to him.
I will agree with that.
And instead, Steven Spielberg isn't going to say shit to him. It's his best friend. They're not going to say anything. Look at the people he hung out with in the 70s. He hung out with some of the greatest film directors of the time. And he probably showed and reviewed his film. They probably, people want to say are shocked by the differences in the trilogy. It's because he wasn't the god he is now.
Yeah.
Okay. He's become arrogant, which is just that happens when you become successful. And I think back then he wasn't full of himself, and not in a bad way. All directors, musicians, artists, when it comes to making that money, a lot of times they forget why they started. They don't have people saying, they have dick riders. That's the perfect way to say it. They don't have people saying maybe you should change that, because they don't look at it that way. They worship you. And I think you need to find, sometimes I think these filmmakers need to remember they need to surround themselves with peers, true peers that can be like, yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. And I think with the new prequel, George lost that. I think that's the biggest problem. Imagine if he had somebody like a mentor of sorts on set, like Coppola or Kurosawa were on set, and they were just like the people he looked up to, and was like, yeah, I don't think that Jar Jar scene really is good. I don't know about that. If he had those types of people, you probably would have gotten a much different tone. Yeah, much different tone. Now, there's also another article where he was saying that his original plan was not as, it wasn't our time, because they're kind of, the prequels they're making them so they can fit Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, and Mark Hamill at their current age. His original plan, from what I was reading from one source, was actually only 10 years from after Return of the Jedi, and he was planning on recasting.
Yeah.
That was the original plan. But Mark Hamill was involved in some aspect. Last year, was actually in an interview said that he was on board even the George Lucas version. George Lucas spoke to him about it.
Well, I think you can't. I think he could recast. I don't think he would. I mean, with that, we don't know how he meant his recasting. Like, is he just going to have a whole new cast, but not have those?
No, he was in a recast.
He was going to recast
Luke Skywalker and recast roles and have it take place.
Stupid.
Well, I don't know, dude. I said this originally. But I wouldn't have minded him doing that.
But I mean, it would be interesting to see like what he would have done. Like if he put out, like kind of like he did the original Star Wars script and did it as a comic book. If Marvel kind of like did like, hey, here's the George Lucas sequels, or something and like that. But again, like I think with Lucas handing everything off to Disney. As much as everybody's like, oh my god, they're gonna fuck up the universe, they're gonna do this, they're gonna retcon everything, it's all legends now. I just don't know how to live with my life anymore. Yeah, well, too bad. Go, suck a tauntaun dick or something.
Wow! And I thought they smelled bad on the outside.
Oh, god,
damn it!
They taste even worse. It's like curdled milk.
Tauntaun cottage cheese. Straight from the tap.
Do you remember a time where you could get cottage cheese from a tauntaun without having to sleep inside of it? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Pepperidge Farm always remembers, just like the Empire remembers.
Yeah, all right. On that note, we need to go to a quick break. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
Don't go nowhere. More Bacta Tank is coming right up.
I'm not a rebel spy.
Don't make me destroy you.
Listen, you can waterboard me all day, but it doesn't make it so.
Yes.
No, I'm not.
Yes.
No. Hello? Vader?
Yes. No.
What's going on here?
What?
I knew this wasn't going to work. Why didn't you say so before?
What? What is all this? What's going on?
Piece of crap. We made him.
This Vader's a fake.
He's just a robot. The real one would never be caught down here on Tatooine. He hates this place. Reminds him too much of his past.
Yeah, like when he used to go by the name Annie.
Just thinking about tomorrow clears away the cobwebs and sorrow.
Oh, hell.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
Hello, everybody. Start over. Hello. Okay, here we go. Hello, everybody. We're back. Let's just get right into it. No more stalling. Drum roll, please. Drum roll, please. Journey to Star Wars, The Force Awakens, publishing program coming fall of 2015. This is huge. Okay? Now, Disney has released a press release, a statement, I should say, letting people know that they're planning a massive deluge of content called The Journey to Force Awakens. The Journey to Star Wars The Force Awakens, which will comprise of like over 20 some titles, comic books, etc., basically kind of filling in the gaps between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome. It's cool, but it's also scary because that's a lot of time. That's what, 30 years?
Yeah, but they've got a lot of time right now to pick up.
Yeah, but they're not gonna. I'm kind of nervous because everything they release is canon. Everything. So they did away with the old EU, or what we like to call EU, but they're now filling it back up really fast. I mean, the whole point to clear it out was so they have room to play with, but if they're just throwing shit already in there, kind of makes me a little nervous that they're really filling things up fast.
It makes me nervous, but
just a bit.
But also, the only question I have is like, how long have they been planning this? They've had to be planning this like since the get-go.
Yeah,
so there must be stuff that's already been planned that they're saying, okay, this year we're just gonna blast everyone with everything we've built since the very beginning.
I mean, at this rate, they're gonna have the entire universe filled up in 2 years. So I can't imagine them going at this high speed for a long period of time. I think they're just trying to get a very hard push into the new movie.
Yeah.
And then I think after a couple years, you're probably going to see them slow down a bit because they're just not going to have enough room, really. I mean, yes, there's an entire universe to explore, and they can go forwards, backwards, anywhere, but that also just creates more issues in about 7-8 years. The universe is going to be so saturated. I think they got to be careful.
But you bring up a good point, because I think they don't want to go back. They don't want to leave questions. They want people to constantly be going forward. So if they blast us now with all the information that they've had and built up, then they leave there's no way that people could go back and say, well, what happened here? Okay, well, obviously if we didn't cover it, it's not important.
Yeah. All right, so this press release, Journey to Star Wars The Force Awakens publishing program coming fall 2015, announcing a new series of books and comics that will lead into Star Wars The Force Awakens. Star Wars fans will soon uncover some major secrets without the need for Bothan spies. So says this release. Disney Publishing Worldwide and Lucasfilm announced today, which is dated on March 10th, an ambitious publishing programming, Journey to Star Wars The Force Awakens, which will lead into the highly anticipated Star Wars The Force Awakens coming December 18th. Journey to Star Wars The Force Awakens, kicking off this fall, is planned to include more than 20 titles available in print and digital, and will feature new narrative stories for middle grade and young adults, as well as comics, illustrated reference, look and find, and sticker book formats. Stories are set to star characters old and new, and retell classic Star Wars tales from new perspectives. Okay, so it's not necessarily new stuff or new canon, just kind of new perspectives, and kind of maybe adding, maybe kind of almost like polishing old stories and maybe filling in the gaps. That's
so that
cool.
they can fit what they're going to be telling.
And maybe a slight polish will kind of like, we're going to polish the storyline here and cut right here, and we're going to put this in there. That might all of a sudden make another movie that much cooler.
But what happens if they take like stories that we know from EU and they go back and just re-edit everything?
Yeah.
Would that be cool? I mean,
it depends on how they do it. I mean,
what happens if they take like the story of Timothy Zahn and just go, okay, we'll take all these parts.
Oh, they're not going to do that. I doubt
and just
that. I doubt
shuffle
that.
everything off.
Yeah. Yeah. They just keep Mara Jade because she's hot. She's a hot redhead.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep Mara Jade in there. That's so stupid.
Luke's got to get laid.
Yeah. The spinoff is going to be Mara Jade strips.
Star Wars Triple X.
Yeah. The Emperor's Hand. Is that Oh, man. All right. So we are thrilled to be developing, as this press release continues to go on, content for fans of this epic saga across the globe, says the executive vice president of Disney Publishing Worldwide. The robust publishing program will appeal to a range of fans, old and new, across all formats, from comics to novels to apps. So they're going transmedia, man. Transmedia is where you tell stories on massive platforms. You go digital apps, you go Twitter, you can do Twitter messages to kind of add a little story. You can go web series, film. So they're going, this is bigger than the Marvels. This is more ambitious than what Marvel's been doing.
No, that is true, because like since the get-go, they've actually been stating that they want everything that comes out that has Star Wars in it to tie in to everything.
Yeah,
there has to be this continuity, this almost like this really long, unbreakable chain of continuity that is unbreakable. And honestly, if they pull it off, it'd be very impressive.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't care about the apps or the little kid books. I'm not going to pay attention to it. And if I doubt they're gonna give any real relevant new canon into these little kid stories. I think the kid stories are going to probably be the additional perspective. Yeah, they're not going to say, "Oh, look at Anakin was really here during this time period" in a kid's book. They're not going to do that. I think what we're going to get is going to be that, the Star Wars Lego that we talked about in the last show,
with C-3PO
the retelling.
and R2.
Yeah, I think we're going to get stuff like that for the kids, where there's nothing really groundbreaking when it comes to new canon, but kind of a fresh new insight into maybe alternate views.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, you see that nowadays with a lot of the books they do for Rebels.
Yeah,
because when I went to Barnes and Noble to actually check out the latest Star Wars books, some of the kids' books they tell like little short stories of like each Rebel character, and it's a completely different story, but it's not really relevant. You know what I mean?
Right. All right, so this takes us to the next topic, which is actually just kind of a segue over to something that's tied into this directly. Now, it has been officially announced as well, tying back in 7 days later on March, I want to say 17th, today that we're recording this, they released some new information pertaining to this giant push starting this fall. What happened after Endor? Find out in Star Wars Aftermath. Okay, this will be a novel written by Chuck Wendig. I'd say Wendig. Okay, let's see. By now, I hope you've all read another release here. I hope by now all of you've read and heard about our exciting new publishing program that was announced earlier this week. Yes, The Journey to the Force Awakens. We'll be releasing about 20 books this fall, some of which take place right after Return of the Jedi. The books will range, as we said, for kids and yada, yada, yada. Right now, they say, I'm excited to tell you about Del Rey's contribution to the program, the novel Aftermath. So the general synopsis is the second Death Star has been destroyed. Rumors are flying that the Emperor and his enforcer Darth Vader are dead. A new government is forming to replace the Empire. But the galaxy's a big place. What if the Empire is not even in Force Awakens? What if it's not the Empire? What if it's like some weird offshoot?
That would actually be kind of cool.
Because we've all just assumed the Imperials are there. Yeah, that it's the Empire. But what if it's just 30 years is a long effing time, dude?
30 years is a long time, and basically what happened to the
governments
rest of the
come
fleets?
And go. Yeah.
Because you got to remember that not all of the Empire's fleet was destroyed. Some may have gotten away. Some may have been stationed somewhere else.
Yeah. Now, the next bit as well is also something talking about, it's actually a comic book. Marvel now has announced what they're going to be doing during this Force Awakens, this Journey to the Force Awakens. I'm going to sue them, by the way, dude. Journey to the Force Awakens. I feel like they stole my Journey to Yavin 4 Studios.
Yavin 4 Studios? The return of Stormtrooper 1?
Yeah. Now, if they put that into a comic book, I am suing.
Dude, it'd be so awesome. There's this new character. We've designated him as Stormtrooper 1.
Hello, I'm Stormtrooper 1. Yeah, that's going to be a bad idea. Okay, Marvel announces Star Wars Shattered Empire. Okay, now this is the first prequel to The Force Awakens. Marvel Comics has announced its first entry into Star Wars Journey to the Force Awakens series as Shattered Empire, and the recently released cover art suggests that the comic will pick up right after the original trilogy, dude.
So we're talking like right after that group pose?
Yes, right after the entire odd, very awkward-looking family portrait.
And Billy D. Williams clapping?
Yeah. He's black, man. He's got soul. All these white people surrounding me, crackers. I need to breathe. Get off me.
What is this furry little thing at my feet?
Oh, jeez. Okay, the first of those comic series has been announced as Shattered Empire. While the cover art for the first installment, created by Phil Noto, has been released, it failed to give Star Wars fans any hint at the new canon, instead depicting the Ewok celebration that concluded Return of the Jedi. As comic book notes, however, the cover does strongly suggest that the Shattered Empire will pick up right where the third original Star Wars film left off.
It could be, it should be really interesting. I mean, think about it. It ended really abruptly. That when we look back at it, it was a cool way of ending a movie. But as a story, you're kind of like going, so what happens now?
Right.
And
Do they all like? Is it happily ever after?
Is it happily ever after?
Yeah.
But how can it be happily ever after? I mean, all they did was just blow up a battle station.
Yeah. Exactly. They killed the emperor. That doesn't mean there's other people that's not in power.
Yeah. Was there anybody under the emperor?
Right. I mean, you can kill the president right now, and I guarantee the CIA now is listening to me. But let's say we decide to kill Barack Obama. Okay, just because we kill him doesn't mean, oh yeah, United States government is over. No. The vice president steps in.
And then after that, it's the House of Representatives.
Right. Look at you knowing your politics. All right. So next update, very exciting as well. Also released while I was on vacation. Star Wars Rogue One has been announced as the official first spin-off series, or Star Wars spin-off movie. This will actually be a feature film that will come out a year during the hiatus of the new trilogy. So we have episode 7 that comes out in 2015. Then we have the spin-off series that will have nothing to do with the original trilogy. Yes, It's in the same universe, as we all know, but it'll actually come out in 2016. Okay, Rogue One. Now, everybody assumed Rogue One, it's going to deal with the X-Wings.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's not the case. If you read the synopsis, it actually says that, unfortunately, the descriptions of concept art from Star Wars Rogue One doesn't really mention it doesn't show any spotting similar faces, but it seems like that it's rumored this movie is rumored to be about a group of bounty hunters who are tasked with stealing the original plans for the Death Star by the Rebel Alliance. So we're actually going back before New Hope. This would be cool, man.
This is going to be cool, but it might also be kind of like just what you say. They got to tread lightly.
They do, but this means we might end up seeing some Star Wars Rebels tie-ins. And we better, dude.
Yeah.
We better, because Star Wars Rebels is so fucking awesome. They can't just bypass it. It's in the exact same time period of Star Wars Rebels. They better have some connection to the TV show. I'm talking what they did with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
Where you have the aftermath of what happened with Captain America, and also the aftermath of what happened with Thor.
Yeah.
And you have it taking place in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I want to see direct tie-ins from Rogue One and Star Wars Rebels. Like, I want it to affect the TV show Star Wars Rebels.
Well,
that would be phenomenal.
The thing is, the way that synopsis breaks down, how cool would it be if you found out the team of bounty hunters
might end up being at least one of them?
Yeah, might be one of the crew from the Ghost. That might actually be cool.
That'd be awesome, man.
Finding out like Ezra's like the leader of Rogue One.
Yeah,
that might be really awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Now, also alongside this news, it was also announced we've actually got an official release date for Rian Johnson's installment of the original trilogy, Star Wars Episode 8.
Yes.
Now, I don't have that date in front of me because I'm an idiot. It says Star Wars Episode 8 gets official 2017 release date. Now, we all knew that they were going to come out every other year.
Yes.
The new trilogy. But it actually has been confirmed that the film will be out 2017. Does it have a month here?
No. I don't think they came out with a month. They came out with a year.
Yeah, no month. Just no, we have it. Episode 7 is now scheduled to arrive in theaters on May 26th, 2017. Wait a second. So we're getting what are we getting? We're getting a December release this year.
Yes.
And then a year and a half later, so they are moving it to May. I wonder why they did that. Why did they do that? Why not just keep it in December now?
Wait a minute. They moved it from December.
Okay, remember, Episode 7 comes out in December. At the end of the year.
Yes.
Well, they're giving Episode 8 a May 26th release date in 2017.
May the 4th. It's going to land on the month of Star Wars holidays.
Yeah. So I'm wondering why they decided to do that. I mean, yes, May is kind of the traditional month of release Star Wars. Maybe that's why. But it goes. I mean, but you've already released Episode 7 in a weird month in December. Why do it now? I mean, maybe they have better. It could be the fact that they didn't want Episode 7 to directly compete with anything that they have going on with Marvel.
You know,
and that could be the case.
That's it.
Now they have 2 years ahead of time. They have a lot better scheduling, so they know what's going to go where now. So maybe that's what it was.
Well, because next year is going to be a big a big year for Marvel, because we know that Marvel's schedule is they're already coming out with like Civil War, they're coming out with Inhumans, and all of that is coming out relatively soon. Now, Star Wars probably they're saying, okay, we'll plan it for 2017 so it doesn't run over that. So 2017 could actually be the mark where Star Wars actually starts the big blockbuster season.
Yeah.
Which was kind of cool. But I don't know if that's a good idea.
Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll find out.
Start the year with Star Wars.
All right, next bit is the Star Wars Force Awakens trailer number 2. Sounds like that the next official full-on trailer with story plots, story clues, and everything will be released with Avengers: Age of Ultron in May.
Yes,
which is kind of what we've been saying.
We did say that in the past, that basically that was going to happen.
And I'm going to be there with my dick out, flicking the tip.
Das is going to be next to you, like rubbing his balls.
Come on,
blue balls.
You just got really gay with it. I was just talking about flicking my own dick. Now you had to put a guy next to me. Come on.
Well, there's probably going to be only guys in that movie.
That's true. That's true.
Operational. Don't go nowhere. More Bacta tank is coming right up.
I am your father.
Alright, can someone just shut off, fake Vader? And can I go because I'm not a rebel spy?
So, you have accepted the truth.
Have the tech team get rid of fake Annie.
What?
Shut up, Annie.
Yeah, shut up, Annie.
No! Cancel the tech team. Cancel the tech team. That was so wizard, Annie.
And, bring in the interrogator droid.
Fuck this shit.
Hello, this is Stormtrooper 1. This is just a friendly reminder. Please leave us a review on Stitcher. Go to Stitcher.com and search From the Bacta Tank. Every review left helps us get seen by more people. And we thank you so much. Remember, go to Stitcher.com and search From the Bacta Tank. Thank you.
It's so smiling to see in your side.
Hey, you're not supposed to be in the studio.
Whoops!
See that red light? Yeah, that means I'm live and on the air.
This is very, very bad.
Get out.
And we're back from the Bacta Tank on Rayman Digital. A few things. We're going to jump into episode 7 related news specifically. Something just got sent to me on my Facebook page. I believe Lance posted it, and I was like, and it also popped in. I have a notification from Google where anything Star Wars related pops into my email, sends me links. So I saw it there as well, but it reminded me when Lance sent it to us. Star Wars Episode 7 gets a female stormtrooper.
What do you mean, female stormtrooper?
Now I gotta turn you down.
It's not a trap.
Now, I don't have a problem with that necessarily. I think it's kind of cool, but the only thing is it would make sense, I guess, for there be a female trooper, right? It would make sense. My only problem is is what I always say. I hope they don't get clever with their script. I don't want them doing gimmick casting because the trends. Oh, right now everybody wants female leads and female characters, so let's make a strong female stormtrooper character now, or let's have a gay Jedi duo. Like, because people want it nowadays, I hope they don't get gimmicky with their casting or their story ideas. Keep it Star Wars. Let's not try to change things and change the world of Star Wars because you're trying to accommodate or placate to what the masses want nowadays.
This is my Padawan. God!
I'm
Just even saying that just-
I'm sensing a new bit. The Jedi gay duo.
Oh my God, that would be.
Dustin,
I already beat you to it.
All right, you called it, so I won't do it.
This is my Padawan. I'm his master, Bear.
But dude,
Stop holding your lightsaber that way.
I hate to say it though, this is absolutely troll fodder.
Yeah.
I mean, you know for a fact trolls will come out of nowhere.
Do you have a problem? Do you have a problem?
What the fuck are you
I have
talking
no
about?
problem
Do you have
with
a problem
the
with a
Stormtrooper
female?
thing, but I'm already reading comments and people are like having a shit fit.
Well,
that
hold on. We'll get into that. We'll get into the comments.
Tits and wars don't mix, bro.
Do you have a problem, Greg? Or not Greg? David, do you have a problem with the female?
No, I actually like it because there's a lot of stories that actually dealt like this.
Yeah. What about you, Greg? Any problems with it?
No.
Yeah.
Why would I don't get where, I mean, you know, there's female Jedi. I mean,
there's a black stormtrooper, so not what a woman stormtrooper now.
Well, not even that. I mean, it's like
what next? A gay trooper?
Oh, trust me, the trolls are coming up with really stupid reasons.
What's next? What's next? The Filipino trooper?
Oh, Jesus!
You'd be short.
Yeah. God damn it! What's next? What's Vietnamese stormtroopers? Are we going to call them the Viet Storms?
So stupid. Dustin, do you have a problem with a female stormtrooper?
Not at all. I don't care.
I don't see the big
They're
deal
still
about
not going to hit anything, so.
All right, so it looks as though the Empire is getting a bit more diverse as Star Wars The Force Awakens introduces a female stormtrooper. According to Lizzo Mazemba from the BBC, is that how you say that? Translator, please. A 30-year-old British actress is set to become a female stormtrooper in the upcoming Star Wars 7. And if you take a closer look at her Spotlight portfolio credits, you can see it right there. In black and white. 2014 film, Stormtrooper, Star Wars, Disney, J.J. Abrams. So I guess she's actually getting credit as a Stormtrooper. So she doesn't have a name, but her name is Stormtrooper in the credits. So I don't know if she'll have a big role. You know, but they are going to have a character that's a female.
You know what it's probably going to be? Is she's probably going to be a commander. She's going to yell like forward, and then she's going to get shot. Or something. I'm not saying shot. That's bad. It's like, hey, we have her here. She's going to die, and then we have The Walking Dead all over again.
Is this picture on the website her?
Yeah, she's hot.
Ooh.
Oh my God, she's fine.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is going to bring up tons of Star Wars fan fiction.
Sign me up for the Empire. Yeah. I will shoot Ewoks, Wookiees, whatever.
Personally, I think it's.
But I want to shoot her directly.
So stupid. Again, all I'm saying with these casting things is I'm hoping that it's not gimmicky. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
It's it needs to serve a purpose. I want, if they're going to do casting like this, which is fine, it makes sense in the real world. It needs to be done for a purpose, an actual purpose that has to do with the story, not just so that they can say they have a female stormtrooper. That's my biggest problem.
Well,
and
you bring up a really good concern because is JJ infamous for being gimmicky? Are we going to say that?
Is he? I don't know.
I mean,
what would you say? I don't think he's gimmicky.
When I think about it now, I'm like going. I look at Star Trek. I look at a lot of what JJ's done in the past. There have been moments when he's done gimmicky things just to actually be different.
Like what?
Let's see.
Now you're on the spot.
A couple of the Star Trek ones. I mean, doing the whole
couple. He's only done 2.
Doing the con thing was gimmicky. Let's face it.
You don't think that's giving what the people wanted? I think fans wanted to see Khan again.
Well, I think he just did it just because it was Star Trek 2, and he basically said this was going to be a new thing, and it is a gimmick.
But is it gimmicky like because it's a trend? That's my definition of a film trend that you don't want to see in something like this. You don't want gimmicky trends. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. Like, if you're talking about
I swear to God, if those stormtroopers come off of that carrier and Taylor Swift is playing in the background, I will fucking shoot myself.
I think we just got another bit right there.
I think we got another bit.
And also, we don't want the goddamn United Nations to be stormtroopers. You know what I mean? We don't want the United Nations being stormtroopers. We don't need a Chinese, a Mexican, a black, a white, a woman. We just want stormtroopers. And if you draw attention to all these different races now as stormtroopers, it's stupid.
Yes.
Well, they're stormtroopers. They are soldiers. That is the very meaning of being a soldier. You have no race. You have no color, no nation, no anything. You belong to the Empire.
Look at him.
You are just a stormtrooper.
You're just a faceless.
It shouldn't matter. Fodder. It shouldn't matter what race or gender you are.
Yeah.
Then the next one though.
Yeah. All right. So the next thing is Liam Neeson says he'd be interested in returning to Star Wars. Who does? everyone they've asked,
everyone wants to come back.
Is
now.
this even a question? Like to be taken? This isn't even a hard hitting question anymore. I'm like, of course, Liam Neeson's on an action hero kick right now.
I don't know who you are.
Of
but I have a
course,
certain set of skills that I've acquired in a temple.
Of course,
with a little green man.
Save it for the bits, dude. Of course, he's going to want to do the show. Now, the way he says it. Now, first off, everybody in agreement that a Liam Neeson, Qui-Gon Jinn spinoff would be amazing.
That'd be rad.
Because
Only if it's done like Taken.
Dustin, now, I'm a big, and you, David and Greg, if you guys disagree or not, but like I always thought Qui-Gon Jinn didn't get, because the story wasn't about him, they had to be careful. It was going to be about Obi-Wan and Anakin, and also the whole like Obi-Wan was trained by Anakin. So I remember seeing halfway through the movie when Qui-Gon said that he's going to take it upon himself to train Anakin, I knew he was going to die, because no, Obi-Wan trained. He took it upon himself to, so I knew he was going to die, and I always thought that he didn't get, there was so much mystery around Qui-Gon, meaning he was a rebellious Jedi. He was a good Jedi. He wasn't dark. He didn't tap into the dark side, but he was rebellious. I mean, they even said it in The Phantom Menace, you know, Obi-Wan says, Master, if you just listen to the council, you would be on the council. Please don't defy them again. So what is this again? Like, I would love to see how rebellious he was as a Jedi. Being a cool, you know, swashbuckling Jedi who's a little bit defiant doesn't mean you're evil and that you train under the dark side. It just means you have maybe a mind of your own. Maybe you don't believe all the teachings. It would be awesome, because you even get that in the scene with Qui-Gon talking to Yoda and Mace Windu about Anakin. Like, he was defiant when he's saying he's going to train him. He's going to train him no matter what you say. Yeah. And that he's the one who brought the prophecy to them and said, this is what I think. And you could tell when the council all looked at each other like he's foolish. You know, so there's so much backstory that was, I'm sure, that's on him, and I would love to see that in a spinoff.
Well, what I like,
especially since he looks the same.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to age.
What I like about Qui-Gon's character is kind of the same that you find out in Rebels with Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character's name. Why can I never remember? Kanan. Thank you.
Or Caleb is his real Jedi name.
With Caleb, like how he was kind of like, he seemed like he was rebellious, or he was kind of hard-headed.
That's why I like him. Yeah,
and that's I think that'd be interesting. Like, if you make a Qui-Gon movie, you could maybe include, like, he could be in it.
How could he though? It's a different time period. He's like 5. There, you have bad ideas today, Greg.
Dude, swing and a miss.
Strike 2.
I'm trying to catch up on everything, and I'm trying to like get caught up on everything, and it's just all bleeding out.
Honestly, the only way I could see them doing a Qui-Gon movie is only pertaining to what happened to Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
You know, the Obi-Wan movie that everyone constantly says is like one of the spinoffs.
Yeah.
That's the only way I could see Qui-Gon showing up again, is because Qui-Gon knew about the hidden training of actually staying alive, or staying alive afterwards.
Think about that. He's the Jedi that figured out how to come back. From the Netherworld.
Yeah.
That shows you something about his character. He's the one that I loved in Attack of the Clones when Anakin is fighting against, which to this day is one of my favorite moments in that movie, was when Anakin kills all the Sand People, and you hear Liam Neeson saying, "No, Anakin, no, Anakin." Like, he's telling him through the Netherworlds, he's trying to communicate with Anakin, telling him, actually trying to steer him to the right path. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's why I think Qui-Gon Jinn is worthy of anybody, of all the people we've talked about that's been a part of Star Wars.
His own film.
I think he deserves that character, and the fact that Liam Neeson's just a fantastic actor. I think he deserves, his character has so much depth to it that it'd be so amazing to see that, and possibly even see how he figured out how to come back to the Netherworld.
Yeah,
or from the Netherworld. Right.
And that's why I like Qui-Gon Jinn's character, because he's very powerful, but he's very wise.
Yeah.
Along with being very defiant at the same time. And that's just something we don't really see with the other Jedi. And that's why I think when I think Jedi, I think of Qui-Gon Jinn.
He's almost like the dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like the dude of the Force.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, come on, man. That rug brought my room together. Oh, damn Sand People.
So now, getting back to the Liam Neeson thing once again. Now, do you guys think he did say in a joke that he had some qualms with the new lightsaber? Okay, but this is going to segue to something else. There's actually a video, which I'll post on our Facebook page, where a guy recreated the lightsaber
I saw that.
Yes.
I saw that.
with the broadsword. Is that what it's called, Dave?
Yes.
Yeah,
the broadsword.
He recreated it in a video. He made it to the dimensions that the lightsaber was in the trailer. And he proved to all the people that said it was a bad idea, that your arm's going to get cut off. And the guy I was like, is this just going to be some geek who thinks he can wield a sword? He wielded the sword very, very effectively.
He was a trained swordsman.
He knew what he was doing. And he said that he just, by the end of the video, he proved that this sword would not cut off your arm. In fact, it would help in your defense and actually disarm the attackers.
I mean,
you saw what he could do with that. That was amazing.
And the thing is like that is from a trained swordsman. I mean, a lot of my swordsman friends even
not a geek who I take sword classes on the weekend. That would never work.
I bought a replica, which is battle ready. What I was told by the salesman of the Master Sword from Legend of Zelda, and I have the shield. So
those things are sharp.
So I do know how to wield a sword. I've practiced cutting my grass with it, so I believe I know what I'm talking about.
But it's kind of funny.
Yeah,
because
I got my samurai degree online.
I watch a lot of anime, and I've taken a couple of classes at the local community college for samurai weaponry. And again, if it's not folded 5 million times, the sword won't work.
Cutting grass with a lightsaber. That sounds like something a Mexican Jedi would do.
Oh my God! New bed.
That lawnmower would sound crazy.
My name is Qui-Gon Jose. I'm here to cut your grass. I am the gardener you're looking for.
Moving over to Star Wars Rebels news a little bit more. Ezra's lightsaber has been explained, and we talked about this briefly on the Star Wars Rebels edition last week.
Yes, we did.
It's pretty cool. I guess Dustin called it out on the Rebels edition show. Saying that it looks like a blaster as well. And sure enough, because they didn't say that in the show, but the Star Wars Rebels Facebook page released, I think the next day after 2 days after the broadcast, they actually posted a schematic of the lightsaber, of Ezra's lightsaber, and said that it does double as a lightsaber and a blaster.
Yep.
And I was saying, man, I saw it in that episode. He is learning from Kanan. Kanan whipped out and used the blaster. And I was like, what better way to incorporate the fighting styles that use a blaster with your fucking lightsaber?
It would make sense because he's the Padawan and he's the master. It would make sense that he's going to kind of mimic his style. Plus, it makes a lot of sense in this world. The reason why Kanan keeps his lightsaber separated, on his belt, is because he doesn't want it dangling like it's a giant lightsaber on his belt, because Jedis are outlawed.
Yeah.
So it would make sense that Ezra can't walk around with a lightsaber strapped either. What's he going to do? It's going to have a blaster strap to his waist instead. So it kind of fits the world that we're in right now, the universe and the settings that the Jedis are wanted. It makes so much more sense that he made a lightsaber that could be basically camouflaged and work as a blaster.
And it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and another thing that I read, which is amazing, and I did notice it, that the lightsabers looked different than what we saw in Clone Wars and the prequels, and they actually explained, because I guess people were complaining because they don't ever remember anything, but they said if you go back and watch the original trilogy, the lightsabers were longer and more narrow. They weren't as wide of a beam. He says
they look like blades.
Right, they look more like blades. And they said that because Star Wars Rebels takes place so close to the original trilogy's time frame, that it would make sense that these blades, that the technology is more like this rather than, and this is what everyone's bitching about, right? They always bitch about technology not changing. Obviously it does. And I thought that's a nice little thing there, a little Easter egg, I guess you can call it, of, hey, these lightsabers are more reminiscent of the original trilogy lightsabers, which I thought was awesome. Yeah, I love it. I love everything they're doing with that show. I really do. This is amazing. And now we could officially say, I mean, I haven't had a chance to read the first Star Wars yet, but based on the early reviews, I mean, we've had, with what Marvel has done, they've had 3 big hits now, okay? They had Star Wars Rebels, which is definitely can be now considered a huge success. And number 2 is a New Dawn, which the first book in the new canon was a huge success.
Yes.
And then Tarkin has followed it up, the other book, which was a huge success. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but it was even better from readers I've spoken with. Is Tarkin's even better than A New Dawn? Then you have Star Wars number 1. That's their fourth home run.
And I'm telling you
Dude,
guys,
4 out of 4, man.
I'm willing to actually say I think Star Wars might actually beat Avengers. And
That's what I was saying a few months ago. Remember, I was saying I think with all these tie-ins and everything they're doing.
I didn't want to say it though because I'm like going, that's a lot to overcome. Because Avengers movie-wise, dude, has like really set the standard really high.
Right. Well,
but this is Star Wars, man.
Yeah. And I'm like going,
this has a way bigger build. Star Wars has a way bigger build than Marvel did.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward.
30 years in the making.
30 years.
It's true. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Don't forget, you can find all of our shows on our website, RainmanWasHere.com, as well as Stitcher Smart Radio. Just search Star Wars From the Bacta Tank. And by the time you listen to this, hopefully we'll be on iTunes. I've been procrastinating with that. Yeah, and that's it. Also, don't forget, you can always find our entire app. If you like our show and you like what we do about 5 different shows. You can now find the Rain Man Digital app in your Google Play stores. Just search Rain Man Digital, and you can take all of our shows on this network on the go. We have Supernatural: The Crossroads, where we discuss the Supernatural television show with Jared Padalecki and Jensen Ackles. We also have the Rain Man Show, which is a standard talk format show. I guess if I had imagine Adam Carolla meshed together with a little bit of Howard Stern.
Throw some geek in.
Throw a little bit of geek in there. Throw a little bit of Chris Hardwick. And guess what? You have our show.
Exactly.
It's a very eclectic. That's a kind of a talk format show. Then we have Star Wars From the Bacta Tank, this show. And then, of course, we have Weird West Radio and then Critique Revolve, where we review movie shows. So thank you, and I'd appreciate if you guys do download the app. Just search Rain Man Digital in the Google Play Store. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
From the Bacta Tank. And From the Bacta Tank is executive produced by Michael Flores and Dustin Lucas. Hosted by Michael Flores, David Zabal. You can find out more about our show by going to www.fromthebactatank.com. You can also find us on Twitter at FromBactaTank, as well as Facebook, facebook.com/FromTheBactaTank.